In order to become a scientist, you have to fall in love. You have to be passionate about the field that you're working in. For children, it's really important to have opportunities for engaging and meaningful and creative science learning experiences, starting at a very young age. One of the challenges in our school system is science is often taught as a memorization exercise, and that's not the most effective way to learn or to get young people interested in science. It's much more effective if you understand that science is a domain of inquiry.
It's really important to get kids interested and engaged. Students start to lose interest in science around middle school. So if you can really catch them early and get them passionate about the subject before then you have a greater chance of having them continue their interest and passion into high school, college, and beyond. A lot of people's biggest fear is that Betsy DeVos is going to defund public schools. And I think that 90% of kids in this country go to attend public schools, so it would be a real shame to defund them. Also, I'm afraid of too much focus on STEM, actually, and I think it's really important that we continue and fund music programs and arts programs in our public schools around the country.
The U.S. Department of Education, they can highlight and showcase significant programs that are running throughout the country. They can celebrate and honor and acknowledge the work of accomplished science educators. There's not a huge amount of federal funding in our education system. Most of the funding that supports our schools is, of course, locally driven. And so I think the role of federal funding opportunities is really where you want to use some of the resources that the federal government makes available for science education is in the area of innovation. We have a great example from the New York Hall of Science. We received a U.S. Department of Education Investing in Innovation grant, and that enabled us to build a curriculum and a digital tool that we call Playground Physics. And what it allows young people to do is capture, just using video on an iPad, capture any kind of motions. By entering a certain amount of data, you can look at that motion and through 3 different lenses: energy, force, and motion. It's a way of taking concepts that are very abstract. Most of us don't remember the difference between potential and kinetic energy, and actually grounding it in physical behavior so that you have a different level of understanding of the concepts that you're working with. The most important thing is to continue funding innovative programs, because it's critical that our education system be able to keep up with the very rapid changes and rapid advances that are happening in the field of scientific research and science more broadly.
So my advice to Betsy DeVos, really right off the bat, I think that she should try shadowing some students around the country. There's teachers all around the U.S. right now are doing this Shadow a Student Challenge. I just did it last week, where I spent an entire day just following a student to see what a day in the life of a student is like. It was really illuminating for me. I think Betsy could start there. She could also shadow some teachers. She could shadow some administrators, some principals, just to really step into their shoes, empathize, and see what sort of challenges that they face.
Children, in a lot of respects, they're born scientists. They're curious, they're inquisitive, they're asking questions. Those are all of the kinds of things that scientists do routinely. So it's really important to help them build a connection to the kinds of things that they're naturally curious about and the kinds of things that scientists do.